Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. We're about to dive into Faisal Hoque's book, Everything Connects, but with a twist. We're not just going to talk about the ideas, we're building a practical, actionable blueprint. Think of this as your guide to putting these concepts to work, like right now. So here's our game plan. It's a 6-part blueprint. We'll kick things off with the core outcome, what you're actually going to get from this. Then we'll hit the big idea, the operating system behind it all, and a step-by-step implementation guide. And to make it stick, we'll cover the essential recurring behaviors, and of course, the common mistakes you'll want to avoid. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let's start with the destination. If you really apply this blueprint, what's the tangible result you're aiming for? What's the prize? Look, the whole point here isn't some quick win or a short-term bump in numbers. Following this blueprint is about a real transformation. It's about becoming what the book calls a holistic innovator. And what that really means is you become a person who creates lasting value because you've mastered the art of seeing and nurturing the connections between yourself, your team, and the wider world. All right, so let's get to the engine that powers this whole thing. What's the one central concept, the one belief you really need to get on board with? This image really nails it. Success never, ever happens in a vacuum. The simple but totally profound idea here is that your own mindset, the way your team works together, and your place in the market, these aren't separate things to fix. Nope, they are one single interconnected system. And real breakthrough value, that comes from the synergy, the energy you create between them. An idea, no matter how great, needs a set of rules to run on, right? You need an operating system, a set of core principles that guide every single move you make. And to get into the right headspace, you've got to love this quote from Einstein. This is the mindset we need. Before we leap into action, before we rush to a solution, we have to pause and get a really deep, complete understanding of what's going on. It's not about analysis paralysis. It's about the incredible power of clarity. So here are the 4 rules that are hardwired into this operating system. First, converge disciplines. In plain English, stop letting your marketing, tech, and sales departments live on different planets. Second, cross-boundary collaboration. You gotta act like a network, not a top-down chart of siloed boxes. Third, long-term orientation. This just means making sure what you do today actually builds towards where you want to be in 5 years. And finally, my favorite, embrace impermanence. You have to assume that today's perfect answer is tomorrow's old news. It keeps you agile. Okay, enough with the principles. Let's get down to brass tacks. How do you actually do this? We're going to break it down into a 3-step action plan using what the book calls clusters. Just think of them as small, super focused teams, each with a crystal clear mission. Step 1, you form a visioning cluster. This is your idea factory. Their only job is to brainstorm and map out new concepts. You fire this team up at the very beginning of the project, and you measure their success simply. How many good ideas did we code up, and how many were strong enough to make it to the next round? So, you've got a promising idea. Now what? That's where step 2 kicks in, the ecological cluster. This team's mission is to figure out, how does our idea actually fit into the real world? They're your detectives, mapping its connections to customers, to partners, to the market. Success here isn't about fails just yet. It's measured by how deeply you understand the world you're about to step into. And finally, step 3, the implementation cluster. This is where the rubber meets the road. Once the vision is sharp and the context is clear, this team takes the baton. They prototype, they test, they validate, and they launch. And their metrics? They are cold, hard, and tangible. User adoption, conversion rates, and sales. No ambiguity here. You know, a plan is just a nice-looking document without the daily habits to bring it to life. Any framework is only as powerful as the behaviors that sustain it day in and day out. So what do you need to be doing on repeat? The absolute bedrock habit for this entire system is mindfulness. And hang on, this isn't about sitting on a cushion for hours, I promise. In this context, mindfulness is a practical tool. It's the skill of just noticing your own thoughts and biases so you can tackle problems with a clear head instead of just reacting on autopilot. This table right here, this is your cheat sheet for making these behaviors stick. First, practice devotion. It's just 10 minutes a day of quiet reflection. Try it for 3 weeks, just mark it on a calendar. Then, every single morning, set a daily intention. Write down your one core goal for the day. When things get heated, use the stop technique. Stop, take a breath, observe what's happening, and only then proceed. In important conversations, practice deep listening. Your goal is to pull out one new insight you wouldn't have otherwise. And finally, every day, seek connections. Make it a point to log one new positive interaction you had. All right, let's cover the last part of our blueprint, and this one is so important. These are the warning signs, the common traps that can make even the best plans fall apart. The number one mistake by a country mile is siloed thinking. You've probably heard the old story of the blind man and the elephant, right? Well, this is it. When you're only focused on your one little piece of the puzzle, the leg, the trunk, you completely miss the fact that you're dealing like an elephant. You can't possibly find a good solution if you can't see the whole system. Okay, beyond that big one, here are 3 other landmines to watch for. Mistake number 2, neglecting your network. Your success is tied directly to the quality of your relationships. Don't let them wither. Number 3, chasing short-term metrics only. It feels good in the moment, but it almost always sacrifices long-term health. And finally, mistake number 4, hiring for comfort. Look, a team full of people just like you might feel nice and easy, but it is the death of real innovation. You need diverse perspectives. You need friction. So, when you put this all together, what's the real takeaway? It's this. This blueprint isn't just another set of business tactics. It's a truly holistic system. It's built on the powerful idea that your inner world, your mindfulness, your self-awareness, has a direct and undeniable impact on your outer world of results and success. And with that, your blueprint is complete. We've laid out the destination, the operating system, the step-by-step plan, the daily habits, and the pitfalls to avoid. The plan is now in your hands. So the only thing left to do is to start with one simple question. Which connection will you go first? If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe, like, and build with us. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. We are doing this one book at a time. And remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So share this with them and grow together. Real progress becomes stronger when it is shared. Build your life one blueprint at a time. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you do.